Welcome back. Top Great Reviews YouTube channel. The DJI Osmo Pocket 4 retail box just leaked, and at first glance it looked underwhelming. Same sensor, similar design, no dual camera. For a lot of people online, that was enough to call it lazy. But that reaction only makes sense if you stop looking too early, because once you actually understand what this box confirms, the Pocket 4 stops looking like a weak update and starts looking like a calculated survival move. This isn't a concept image. This isn't a placeholder. The leak came from Igor Boganov, and what we're seeing is a finalized Creator Combo retail box. That detail matters more than people realize. DJI only prints Creator Combo packaging when the product name is finalized, the accessories are locked, and the pricing tiers are confirmed. That means the standard DJI Osmo Pocket 4 physically exists. It's finished, and it's ready to ship right now. At first glance, the hardware feels familiar. Yes, it still uses a 1-in sensor, and yes, that disappointed a lot of users who were expecting a sensor jump, but the box quietly reveals something far more important. DJI has changed how you interact with the camera. For the first time in the Pocket lineup, there's a dedicated physical zoom button, and right next to it, a customizable function button. These aren't cosmetic changes. They directly fix one of the biggest problems with the Pocket 3. On Pocket 3, zooming meant touch gestures that interrupted shots, caused accidental taps, and broke filming flow. With physical zoom, framing becomes smooth, controlled, and uninterrupted, even while recording. The function button takes this even further. This is about muscle memory. One press to recenter the gimbal, one press to switch follow modes, one press to lock exposure. The Pocket 4 doesn't want to feel like a gadget anymore. It wants to feel like a tool, something you operate without thinking. That design shift shows up in the body itself. The Pocket 4 is slightly longer than the Pocket 3. That's not random. It almost certainly means a larger battery. Estimates put it around 1,545 milliamp hours, roughly 20% bigger than Pocket 3. In real-world use, this matters more than most spec upgrades. Longer 4K at 120 frames per second recording, less battery anxiety, less planning around power banks, more confidence to just keep recording. But the most important detail on this box isn't the sensor, the buttons, or the battery. It's the FCC-ID OP041. That single code explains why the Pocket 4 exists in its current form. On December 23, 2025, new FCC bans on DJI approvals took effect in the United States. Any DJI product that didn't clear approval before that date now faces serious barriers in DJI's biggest market. The standard Pocket 4 with FCC-ID OP041 cleared approval just in time. It is legally registered. It is allowed to be sold in the US. Now ask the uncomfortable question, where is the Pocket 4 Pro? There is no FCC filing for a Pocket 4 Pro, and DJI doesn't forget FCC registrations. That means one of two things is true. Either the Pro model wasn't ready before the deadline, or it cannot be approved under current restrictions. Suddenly, those earlier dual-camera leaks make sense. Dual-camera Pocket prototypes likely exist, but if they miss the FCC window, they may never be legally sold in the United States. This explains DJI's move. They launched the standard Pocket 4 first because it may be the only version they can legally sell in their most important market. Waiting for a Pro model could be dangerous. There's a real chance it never officially launches in the US at all. I can't say this publicly. They can only act around it, and the pressure is increasing. Insta360 has already teased a handheld gimbal camera for 2026. Competitors are pushing aggressive pro-level features. DJI is forced into a defensive position where innovation without legal approval is meaningless. A groundbreaking camera that can't be sold is useless. So DJI made a choice. Focus on what they can guarantee: legality, reliability, and global support. That's why the Pocket 4 feels restrained. Refined controls instead of risky hardware, bigger battery instead of experimental sensors, better vertical video handling, confirmed 4K at 120 frames per second. This isn't DJI falling behind. It's DJI buying time. Time to navigate regulations, time to protect their ecosystem, time to plan what comes next. The Pocket 4 is not aimed at spec chasers. If you already own a Pocket 3, image quality alone won't justify upgrading. But for professionals, creators who value longer battery life, physical controls, legal certainty, long-term support, and availability in restricted regions, the Pocket 4 might be the smartest purchase this year. Even the small details reinforce this mindset. The frame tap accessory sounds minor, but it may quietly solve long-standing tracking frustrations. DJI isn't chasing headlines anymore. They're solving real problems. In the end,